Well, the Progressive Professionals Forum vows to challenge the newly approved FICA law in the Constitutional Court. The PPF says the act gives undue powers to the country's banking sector by making inspectors accountable to banks. President Jacob Zuma signed the contested Financial Intelligence Centre Amendment Bill into law on Saturday. The act aims to combat money laundering and the financing of terrorism. The PPF says it will write to Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba to postpone the implementation of the act. This is to ensure that the protection of its members and their rights. The main concern is that the act gives banks the power to make the determination on suspicious transactions and subsequently freeze accounts as well. Now, this is how the PPF says FICA law gives undue powers to the banks. The law abolishes the Counter Money Laundering Council on which the Reserve Bank sits. It gives banks power to determine suspicious transactions and freeze suspected accounts. It creates prominent influential persons category, which provides grounds to freeze accounts, and prominent influential persons have no recourse against the bank's decision to categorize them and freeze their accounts. PIP categorization infringes on one's constitutional right of being innocent until proven guilty.
Only the president can assent to bills in terms of one of his constitutional duties. So let us leave it to the president as our executive leader that he should apply his mind to this bill now that it is going to come back to him. And all of us hope that he is going to be able to sign the bill, as he has to sign a number of other bills that are often brought before him.
Now, the PPF's action follows the legal advice it sought after Parliament referred the revised bill to the President.
In terms of the FICA bill, the Progressive Professionals Forum is studying the latest amendments that have been made in Parliament. And we're also consulting our legal counsel, who will then advise way forward in terms of that. We know what they've done in terms of dealing with just that one particular clause, but want to study and see the impact of that amendment, whether it addresses the issues that we dealt with indirectly maybe or not. So we're going to study that, and then we're going to be informed by that, also with the advice of the legal counsel. And then we'll advise society in terms of what is our way forward from there.
Well, to discuss this further this afternoon, we are joined by political analyst Mr. Tsepo Khadima. He joins us on the phone line. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on ANN7. Now, first and foremost, the Progressive Professionals Forum has promised to challenge the newly approved FICA bill in the Constitutional Court. What are the major challenges that this law has, according to you and your view?
Well, the Progressive Professionals Forums are actually correct to be taking this legal step or this course of action, because the Progressive Professionals Forums during the parliamentary hearings raised over 16 constitutional violations, and those 16 constitutional violations, Parliament refused to look into them or to consider them, and the presidency itself also never once explained why those 16 constitutional violations should stand. So the natural place to go to will be for the Constitutional Court to settle this matter once and for all, because it cannot be correct that a law of this nature, as it has now been signed into an act, to be known as the FICA Act, it can repeal Section 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. And that's exactly what it has done. But also, the Act has privatized the criminal justice system of South Africa as defined in the Constitution of the Republic. And that privatization, it has got no legal standing or constitutional standing of any kind. It is therefore important that I think all South Africans should support a Progressive Professionals Forum to protect the Constitution of South Africa. And also it will be important for the judiciary, and particularly the Chief Justice Mogoeng, to express his views on can it be permissible that the Constitution of the Republic is repealed by this law or sections of the Constitution of the Republic, but more importantly, that now he, as the Chief Justice of the country, will be subject to operating or executing his duties and functions only as so expressly authorized by the banking institutions. That certainly cannot be correct.
Mr. Khadima, with regards to the opposition saying that Malusi Gigaba will hold up implementation of this law, do you see this as an immediate reality? And if not, why? What are some of the concerns here?
My suspicion is that Minister Malusi Gigaba is going to gazette this act and bring forth its implementation. It is therefore imperative that Progressive Professionals Forum actually should be rushing to the Constitutional Court in order to stop that very perilous eventuality. So I suspect that since the President has signed the act, Minister Malusi Gigaba has got absolutely no way of delaying its implementation, but its implementation unfortunately holds very consequences that are just too ghastly to contemplate. I hasten to add that 2 days ago, I made an offer of $10,000 to anybody in this country who can be able to point out the specific sections of the Constitution of South Africa which authorizes the banking institutions to manage the criminal justice system and for the banking institutions to have the powers to convict and sentence suspects of any crime, and in this case specifically the crime of money laundering and financing of terror activities. And needless to say that by 5 o'clock today, that offer will expire, and there still hasn't been any one person of any standing who could come forth and justify with the constitutional provisions why the criminal justice system has now been privatized.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Khadima, for your views.